Hello friends, in this series of videos in discrete mathematics, in the last video we have just understood what is proposition. That is any statement which can logically have only two values, that is either true or false, then it is called proposition. And then we understood some basic logics like what is law of contradiction and law of excluded middle. Now in this video, let's first discuss what is atomic proposition and compound proposition, and then we'll understand what is the basic mathematics or science of argument, logical argument. Okay. Okay friends, now as in the previous video we have understood that a statement is a proposition if either it is true or false. For example, again if I say like 2 plus 2 is equals to 5. Now again you understand that this statement, although it is false, but it is very declarative and either it is true or false, then this statement is a proposition. Now we say that a proposition can be of two types, either it is atomic or it is compound. Now what is atomic proposition? So here you see we say any proposition which cannot be divided further is said to be atomic, and usually it is denoted by lower cases like p, q, r, s, t. So these are the simplest cases, simplest logic which we cannot divide further. For example, like this is the only case. You see I said 2 plus 2 is equals to 5. Now that is a very basic statement and you cannot divide it further. Now this atomic or this statement is called atomic proposition. Generally I'll use these lower alphabets like p, q, r, s, to denote this. For example, if I write like this, p is 2 plus 2 is equals to 5. Now if I write this or if I write this, both mean same logic. Okay, now if this is atomic proposition, now what is compound proposition? So here you see it says what? If one or more atomic propositions are combined to form compound proposition using connectives or operators, and these are the basic mathematical operators which are available in logics. Okay, so now you understand, if I say like something, if there is an atomic proposition P and there is some atomic proposition Q, and let me for example put a OR. Now in the next video we'll understand. Now this is not OR, here we say it is disjunction, but basic meaning is same. So it means what? This total logic is going to be true if at least one of them is true. So if either P is true or Q is true or both of them true, now this becomes a compound logic, because you see it depends on two atomic propositions. So now here you see, just for sake of definition we are discussing it. Compound proposition means what? When using some basic operators you associate two or more or even one or more. Why we say one or more? You see, if P is an atomic proposition, now do you see negation of P is a compound proposition, because you see if the value of P is true then negation P becomes false, if the value of P is false then negation P becomes true. So using these basic operators which we'll discuss in the next video, if we combine two or more or one or more atomic propositions, then you'll get compound propositions. So that is a very basic logic. Simple statement is a proposition or atomic proposition, and when you associate two or more simple or one or more simple propositions, then it becomes a compound proposition. Now this is the basic logic, and the more we'll study in the next videos, the more you understood that what is atomic and what is compound. Means if you cannot divide something further, then it is atomic. If you can divide something further into smaller units, then it is called compound proposition. Now let's understand what is a mathematical argument and how we deal with an argument. Okay friends, now here you see that is a basic method how you represent an argument. And here I say what? You see, let me say you have n number of premises like 1, 2 and up till you go to n statements, and using n premises you derive a conclusion C, and this entire bundle is called as what? Argument. Means you are trying to understand this thing. What I say if P1 is true, P2 is true, and up till Pn is true, if all these premises means nothing but statements, they could be compound proposition, they could be atomic proposition. If these premises are true, then only we say that conclusion C is true. Now this entire logic can be true or can be false. So what is our task? What we have to do is, you must understand that the premises are always given in the true format, means whatever they say it is right. Now our task is only to find whether that premises are sufficient enough to conclude the conclusion or not. What does it mean? For example, now let me write an argument and let me say what? Like let me say P or Q, and let me say, okay, let me make it simple. Let me say P or Q implies P. You understand this thing? Here I have taken only one premises. So it says what? P and P or Q, it means what? If P or Q or P disjunction Q is true, then it means P is also true. Now you try to understand. I don't know whether P or Q is true or not, or P disjunction Q is true or not, but we say whatever the premise is given, we consider it in true format. Means what? This statement is for sure to be true. That is our assumption. So now the question is, if P disjunction Q is true, then can I conclude that P is also true? Now you try to understand that P disjunction Q true is three cases possible. How? Either only P is true or Q is true or both of them are true. Now if P is true or Q is true or both of them are true, now you understand it is not necessary that if P disjunction Q is true then also P is true. Why? You see, if only Q is true, then also it is possible that P disjunction Q is true, but it is not required that P is true. It means what? This argument is wrong. So how you try to find that argument is valid or invalid, or it is right or wrong? If using premises you can derive conclusion, then it means that argument holds good, otherwise not. For example, let me take the reverse version. Can I ask you like this? Now can I ask you like this? It means what? If P is true, then it means P or Q or P disjunction Q is true. I think this argument is valid. Why? Because you know that if P is true, then you don't have to worry about Q, because this P is itself by itself sufficient enough to prove that this P or Q is true, because this P or Q is true if at least one of them is true, either P and Q, and you know already what P is true. So now that is a basic mathematics. You are trying to understand. Again, I don't know in the true nature whether P is true or not, or C is true or not, but our task here is to find what? If these premises are true, then can I derive a conclusion C or not? You see, this is how a judicial system, court works. In court, you cannot say whether whatever statement a person is giving is true or not, but we say what? If all these statements are true, let me say doctor say this, police say this, and some person say this, then using those premises you can derive a conclusion. So that is how a judge deals with an argument, whether this argument, a lawyer gives an argument and judge take a decision whether argument is valid or invalid, and that is what we will be doing in this chapter. So what is the logic? Based on the set of premises, if you are able to derive a conclusion C, then you say argument is valid, otherwise you say argument is invalid. Again, note one point, I am not saying whether these premises are true or not, or conclusion is true or not. I don't know that, but what I am saying that using those premises you cannot derive a conclusion. If that is the case, then the argument is invalid, otherwise argument is valid. So I hope you understand the basic logic. Like what is premises, what is conclusion, and this entire logic is known as what? Argument. And also we understood that what is atomic and compound proposition. Now from the next video, let's try to understand some of the basic connectors, and let's try to work out on some of the simple arguments, and then in the following video we'll try to have more complex logics. Okay.